besides Spain, you are also known for being a well, world famous producer. Actually, you work a lot on that. You work with a lot of bands. Was it especially hard to set your mind apart from the producer job for doing this new Pain album?
No, because this producing and writing music goes hand in hand with me when I do my own stuff.
Yeah.
It's just because the way I write music, I only write one part and then I build all the instruments on top of it. And then I move on to the next part and so on and so on until the album is done, to the song is done. So it's a very different way of writing music, I think, compared to other people. Most people start with one instrument and do the whole song through, and then put the next and the next and the next. But for me, I'm everywhere just for the first riff.
Yeah. Right. So on the song Coming Home, which gives title to the album, you have your son Sebastian playing drums there.
He's
Uh,
playing on the whole album.
on the whole album as well. So how cool is that? Was your idea to do it, or did he tell you, "Oh, Dad, I want to play on the album"?
No, I asked him. We I don't know. It was very easy because we live in the same house, and since since I started with the album, he's been hearing demos from me. When I was playing it, and so he knew the songs better than David, who never heard the songs. So I mean, David was busy, and I felt like I needed drums on one song. I think it was, and I said like, "Hey, Sebastian, go in and play some drums," and he did. And it worked fine. I mean, he's normally a more complex drumming kind of drummer. Like I don't know, Meshuggah, captated kind of stuff. The
Yeah.
uh, yeah, the more jazzy death metal or whatever you want to call it, complex stuff.
Yeah.
And so for him, it was good to see that he could play, straight stuff that still swings and still grooves, because it's not easy to play very straight and keep it groovy. So, I
Exactly.
mean, he's a full blown drummer. And now afterwards, it feels great. And there was no complications at all
Right.
when he was doing the drums.
So you are doing a tour promoting this album. You're also coming to Spain, 3 dates in October. Is
Yeah,
he coming with you? He's coming for the full drummer for the whole
yeah,
tour.
yeah. He's going to be on the tour because David needs time out for family stuff, that he has to take care of. So the whole 2016, Sebastian is going to join us for drums.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Oh, also on this new album coming home, you have a song called "Obscene Phonics Rising," which
yeah,
seems to have a funny story about you touring with Nightwish on Leipzig and having a problem there. So what can you tell us about it?
yeah. I mean, it was actually a friend who asked me like, "Hey, why don't you write a song about uptick?" And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, "No, why should I?" I was like, I don't know." And then afterwards, I started thinking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. I can have some influence from the Leipzig incident." So from being a kind of corny idea in my head, turned out to be really cool. I think.
Great. And also a factor that is present on the album is maybe space, as you have the cover artwork there with you as an astronaut, and also you have this song dedicated to Nikola Tesla about the sounds he heard from a satellite out there.
Yeah,
So, are you especially fond of this subject?
yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, some people are watching Lord of the Rings or whatever, and I'm sitting listening to documentaries about people talking about things. Some
Yeah,
stuff you have to just laugh at. Some other things gives you some big thoughts like, oh, really? Maybe it could be like this. So you have to have an open mind. When you listen to all these uh, stories about people saying about most of the shit, because everything you see on TV and listen to radio news and shit is not what you think it is.
Yeah, great. Well,
Yeah,
it seems that you are a very busy man because besides doing the production thing, you also have pain, you have hypocrisy, and now you also have a project with Till Lindemann called Lindemann.
yeah.
Would you say that you are a workaholic, that you have to be always doing something to keep you busy, to keep you busy?
It's mainly writing music keep me busy. I don't necessarily need to go out and promote and play live and stuff like that. I just love to write music and create music. That's my passion. I think. Going on tour and stuff like that, that comes with work. Because you want to see the reaction, you want to meet the fans that got into the album and stuff like that. So I think with Lindemann, it was a different thing. We're two idiots being locked up in the studio, coming up with crazy ideas. Without the world knowing. So it was a different thing.
Right. So tell me, how was working with Clemens from Tägtgren on this album to ask him to help you on some songs?
Oh, it was good because he helped out. He's mainly fixing the sounds for the orchestra parts.
Yeah.
And he's a damn good orchestrator. You know, and that's why I used it, because I always had orchestra parts in my music. But my sounds was so shitty. Either you have to run to a like Prague Symphony Orchestra or something like that. But actually, Clemens is doing movie music as well. So he knows all these things. So it's so easy to send him all my melodies and stuff like that, and he puts it together like a full orchestra would do it. And it gives it a better impact, I think.
Yeah. Also everything that you work on, and also in this new Pain album, is very visual, right? You try to keep always an image related to everything you do. And now that you mentioned the movie and everything, I always try to think, when I think of an album, think of a movie related to that album. So for you, if you have to relate this new Coming Home album to a movie that you really like, which movie will that be?
Oh shit, I don't know. Alien 1? No, I have no clue. I mean, it's just my story of life. I think it's in a chapter of when I'm 45 to 46 years old. It just represents what I was thinking during this year that's been going.
Yeah,
So
great.
I can't see any movies related to it. Well, I have a big movie in my head, and that's me, but other than that, I have no clue.
Right. So, do you see yourself doing Pain and all your other bands and projects and doing the producer job uh, for another 20 years? Do you see growing old, being a musician and working with bands?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I know one thing's for sure is that I'm always gonna write music, but if people gonna hear it or not, that I have no clue about. I can only hope that I have the same luck with bands I had for the last 20 years. You know, I mean, it's up to the bands how long they want to work with me, and new bands coming in and wants to work. That's really up to them. I can't really decide those things.
Did you already figure out how many songs from the new album are you going to play live? Do you already put a set list for this tour?
I'm still working on the set list, and it's not really easy. With 8 albums, it's really hard. There's some songs that you always have to play, like 10 songs, I think, that
Yeah.
you can't get away from, that you have to play, and hopefully from the new album, there will become a few that we always have to play as well, we just have to see what the reaction is going to be and what songs people like from the new album.